Ladies and gentlemen, the following podcast is scheduled for one fall. Introducing your hosts, Kids at Heart.
What's good?
Repo Man dropped right before the show started. Hi, everybody. I'm also warning you, my internet connection might not be a little shoddy right now. I think it should be okay. Am I coming in clear, buddy?
Yeah, I can hear and see you.
At the top corner, it's showing me my my internet is at 1 bar, but I know that it's being hogged by the 400 gigabyte version of a Shattered Diamond I'm uploading to Google Drive right now, which has taken 200 hours to upload.
You mean a Shattered Diamond and Nick Molbach production? Is that what you're talking about?
You know, we'll get to that at some point. But hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us for a later episode of Wrestle Reel. I scheduled a haircut, not intentionally. I have an event that I'm doing tomorrow, and that was when my haircut was scheduled for. And Chris Anthony Lopez and I just realized have the same exact shirt. I can
Target exclusive, baby.
I can go put on mine right now.
You do.
I could.
You should.
I should. Okay, can you handle the show while I'm gone?
Of course I can. I hope everybody's having a great Friday so far. I know we started a little bit later than usual. Like what Nick said, he has a little haircut ski because we all need a haircut. Lord knows I need one. Oh, but no, what's going on, everybody? We're about to talk the latest and greatest in wrestling. We will inevitably talk about our most rewatchable matches. That'll be a little bit later in the show. Not necessarily our favorite matches, but just matches we rewatch a lot. But we'll get there when we get there. But, SmackDown starts in like 45 minutes, and I know there's something big that happened that we definitely will start the show off with when the time comes. And what a week. And one of Nick and I's favorite wrestlers came back, and we were highly anticipating where this man would go, and he popped up on NXT, and we collectively lost our minds, just like the entire wrestling world. But, I do have a little bit of a Wrestle Reel. I don't know what we're calling this. Like, if we're calling like a Wrestle Reel show and tell, or if it's like a Wrestle Reel like fig ski, if we're like, or fig show. Because look, I thought to myself, like, I've been buying these forever now. And if you're listening to this audio, I apologize. But if you're watching the show, I have a bunch of AEW figures. I never really showed these folks before. I know I've told Nick, or I might have showed him, but I have a bunch. I have 6 of these. And they've released more than 6, but these are hard to come by. Like, have y'all even tried getting AEW figures? They are awfully hard to come by. The second they're put on shelves is the second they're taken off, because people are buying these things like hotcakes. It's crazy how AEW, like, they've been around for 2.5 years now, which is crazy as hell to say out loud. But now, like, their merchandise is flying off the shelves. Matt Thomas, co-founder of the channel, he actually sent me a photo this morning that they are doing pre-orders for replica belts. AEW is already doing replica belts, and they're just making money like it's nobody's business. I would love to see AEW's or how Tony Khan's like money's funneling in just from doing merch. The t-shirts, Lord Jesus, I only own a couple. Excuse me, but but I want to show off my figs because I just bought one a couple days ago and I want to flex it real quick. I do have Kenny. I gotta have the belt collector, the mean green wrestling machine that is Kenny Omega. I have Pac as well. Pac, I love Pac. Even when he was back as Neville, like I love Pac, and him and Kenny just had that kick-ass triple threat match not too long ago. So
it's
gotta
not
love me some.
Unfortunately, I'm very sorry.
Oh, GD.
But this does match my fidget spinner, so we're just gonna.
I'm doing my little fake show off, dude. Have I ever showed you my AEW figs? I want to be a
few of them, I believe.
So I bought a new one a couple days ago.
Better not be the one that I need to buy myself.
And I don't know if it is, but I got Poxky, I got a little belt collector, Kenny Omega. I do have Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy's a chill by my PS5 that I'm not going to flex, even though it's right there. That's collecting books apparently. So I got that. I got Chris Jericho. Ooh, I almost poked myself in the eye. Chris Jericho. I do have now. This is gonna be awesome. Real quick. So shout out to Brandy and Cody. They just had their baby today. Liberty, I think that's her name. So shout out to them. And shout out to Renee Paquette, and John Moxley. They also had their baby this week.
Yeah.
But this is the Series 1 Cody Rhodes.
Wow.
I got this guy. But the one I just bought is the Series 4 Cody Rhodes a couple days ago. He has a little belt, what's it called? The throne breaker on it. Like, it's pretty damn. I got 2 Cody Rhodes. I'm such a damn merc for the American Dream, or the American Nightmare, excuse me.
The man who ended racism.
Yes, the man who ended racism. Yum. A friend of the show, Jacob.
Matt wanted us to point out this is the replica belt.
Right. Freaking. Now I'm not checking the damn overlay, Matt. I'm not. Hell no. Don't tell me what to do.
I clicked on it. It was just the picture.
No, but Matt's out here in a private chat. Little spook. Get out of the private chat, Matt. What the hell? What do you think this is? Real talk. So So I have a bunch of AEW.
I was thinking you got Luchasaurus.
Ooh, it's in my ringside collectible card. We do.
Is incredibly important to us,
especially like with the Jungle Boy pair. I forget how much it is. It's kind of pricey. Ringside collectibles. These things ain't cheap, y'all. These things ain't cheap. And I mean, retail's like $20, but if you want to buy them online, I saw like some of them are going for $30 or $40 depending on the fig. The Brandy Rhodes one, like that was going for like $90 at one point. The last time I checked, right? Because they made like 5 of them. Like they made so little of the Brandy Rhodes ones that those were like super rare to find.
Well, then Britt Baker was angry because she's like, if I don't get one of these figures, I quit. And then she did.
Right. Like how's Cody get 2 figs? MJF has a second figure come in besides the variant. That's Chris Jericho's getting another fig. These folks, yeah, I get it. You get your money makers. They're gonna send you the merch. But Britt Baker. If one of the heads on the Britt Baker one doesn't come all bloodied and shit, I don't want it. I don't think it
does. It's her in her Steelers outfit is the variant, and then
come on.
There's another one, but yeah.
Give me a Thunder Rosa one. That'd be hard. I would have loved that. I just realized some of the boxes are different, but I digress. Nick, I'm excited for this show solely because I'm excited to talk about the 2 things we have: wrestling. Now, these topical wrestling related, but our third count's also going to be awfully interesting because we're doing rewatchable matches, not our favorite. They could be our favorite.
I feel like a lot of those, they don't have to be our favorite.
They don't have to be.
But like, there are some matches that you see a lot just because of. But I feel like rewatchability plays a lot into it being our favorite matches. But I digress. We'll see. I'm curious what you mean by that when it comes to your picks, because for me, when it comes to rewatchable matches and even just rewatchable movies, I have to enjoy it in order to put myself through.
Right.
But what's crazy about wrestling is that sometimes they shake things up. This was a terrible transition, but sometimes they shake things up. But is it good or not? Today we're going to be discussing.
Let's get it, baby. Because SmackDown does start in 36 minutes, and we're scared that this is going to lead the show. At least I'm worried that this might open the show because of how it's going to go. But Nick, when you first heard that Roman Reigns and Rey Mysterio's Hell in the Cell match got moved from off the Hell in the Cell show to a SmackDown, what was your first thought? I'm curious because we have not spoken of this at all.
So, first of all, I think it devalues the pay-per-view just a little bit.
Ooh, big word.
Because, let's face it, some of the best things that are going on right now are, SmackDown-related things. Raw sucks. We know that. Raw sucks.
I love how you said that.
And, I remember last year, gosh, we've been doing Wrestle Reel for almost a year now, I think.
This is our 33rd show.
Right. Well, I'm just thinking of the fact that, like, we watched, gosh, what was it? Randy Orton win the WWE Championship in Hell in a Cell, right?
Yeah, they did Hell in a Cell awfully early this year.
And I do feel like, yes, there's going to be Hell in a Cell fatigue because it does feel like we just got Hell in a Cell.
Right.
And I could imagine that, like, Peacock is pissed unless there's going to be some sort of a resolution to this. Now, personally, I think that the resolution to this is that Roman Reigns is going to murder Rey Mysterio, and then he's going to murder Dominic Mysterio in Hell in a Cell.
Right.
Or the big dog's going to be like, or the big frog, in my case, is going to be like, I don't need to wrestle on this pay-per-view. I already gave you what you wanted. I mean, if they're trying to build heat towards Rey Mysterio, if they're trying to build heat towards Roman Reigns by doing this, I'm not a huge fan. I'm just not a huge fan of this. I mean, and I did see, like, when I saw it, it was divisive in the comment section. Some people were like, this sucks. This devalues the pay-per-view. And I do lean towards that. But then some people were like, why are you complaining? We're getting a Hell in a Cell match on free TV.
Mm-hmm.
That's, there's something fishy going on here, right? There's got to be something fishy going on here.
I wouldn't say fishy. Something that is really sus is like what you said to start. Raw sucks. And if any... And this, okay, I saw this.
And Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre sucks as well.
Yes.
The build,
not that they're bad. It's just the build sucks. And I'm not invested. I don't give a shit about that match. But like what you said, I saw this report earlier that USA Network is shitty that they did not get a Hell in a Cell match. I will be surprised if by the end of Sunday night, if the second the clock strikes midnight, I'd be shocked if there's not a Hell in a Cell announced for Raw on Monday. I would be surprised because I feel like both shows will inevitably get one. But in regards to Roman and Mysterio, I'm torn. If this match actually happens, if they go through with it and they go like beat for beat, like an actual match, then great. That's awesome. The first Hell in a Cell in SmackDown history, the first one on TV since like 1998, some crazy stat like that. It's been a minute. And I think we should have these specialty matches more so. Like, when's the last time we had a Hell in a Cell, or not Hell in a Cell, a steel cage match on TV? It's been a minute. We used to have those on Raw like every week, right? Like it's been a minute.
It's not on the most watched stuff, is what I'm trying to get at. Because on NXT it was recent. I mean, like we just got, what was it? Bronson Reed versus Johnny Gargano was a steel cage. But that's not a flagship show getting an interesting stipulation. Now,
NXT don't need it. Raw needs the hell out of it now.
It's not even that. It's like, I remember back in the day when SmackDown versus Raw 2007 came out. You had your GM mode, which I would love to figure out how we could do something like that here. Because it's fun to watch up, down do it for sure.
I watch Battle of the Brands every damn week.
And like it's something that I thrive to figure out how we can do it. That said, I remember that like the point of that was you always had, without spending all your money, you always had to do something to set yourself above whatever other brand you chose. Typically, I'd choose SmackDown. I just like SmackDown more.
Okay, word.
We could fight over it.
I'll happily take Raw. Happily.
Okay, hey, we'll get to that eventually. But my thing was that like they always had to throw everything at the wall in order to beat, a brand that is in the computer AI is pairing Umaga versus Kelly Kelly as like the main event on Raw. Now,
as it should.
It, of course. But my point of the matter is, because obviously that's silly and that would never happen for a main event on Raw, I would hope, is that you don't need a special match every week, right? But you need something to spice up Raw. Specialty matches injure superstars quicker. It just puts more wear and tear on your body, and you run the potential of a superstar getting hurt. That was something that played into that SmackDown versus Raw game, was that you can't do too much because then your superstar is going to be injured. And that is the case for real life. If the same main event talent is fighting in a Hell in a Cell match every other week on Raw, they're going to get hurt inevitably. It just feels like it's going to happen. But we want something, And what's crazy is they give SmackDown everything in general. When they moved to SmackDown Live, and I understand it was because the people were pissed, but SmackDown got the first ever Money in the Bank match on a live show. Redoing the women's match in the same exact results. But, my big thing is that, like, And if anything, give us Rhea versus Charlotte and Hell in a Cell on Raw.
Ooh.
Don't give me a rehash of Bobby Lashley because for some reason I don't know where this goes.
Mm-hmm.
If the main event suddenly becomes the Usos versus the Mysterios in a Hell in a Cell tornado tag match at Hell in a Cell, by God, that would be one of the most incredible matches I've ever seen.
The Usos have already had a great tag Hell in a Cell match against the New Day a few years ago.
Exactly.
That match rules.
And maybe that's what they're trying to do is they're just trying to build this up. So it's like, hey, Roman can't interfere in this because that's what keeps happening during these matches. It's just, it was out of left field. Is it going to bring more viewers to SmackDown? Yes. Including casual, hardcore. People are going to wonder what is actually going on here because, like I said, it wasn't that it was fishy. It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm sitting here going, huh.
Now, I love that you said that, right? And we keep going back to the fact that this is sus because it is sus.
Yeah.
Am I, like, on the other hand, of course, do I think this match is happening? I don't know. I don't. They're advertising the hell out of it. It's super weird. They announced it the morning of, or like the night before. I forget. I fell asleep at 9 o'clock last night. So this was a late night announcement that I missed it and I woke up to it. But I woke up to also that picture Matt put in the in our thing. He sent me that last night. I'm like, damn it, I don't need that. I don't need it.
But you want it.
Of course I want it. But I don't put it right here. All the pops gone. I put it right there. But this, I don't, part of me doesn't think this is happening. I think this is a lie. I think this is a ploy to get people to watch. And either A, they put the Hell in the Cell down, they do the light gimmick, they do all the lights, they have the entrances, Rey Mysterio comes out and Roman Reigns just murders him. Like straight up, yes. does them. And why are the Mysterios caught up in other garbage? They did this the last time with Seth Rollins. They're a tag team, damn it. Why are you putting them and having Rey face Roman Reigns? He is a tag champ. Rey is right now against Roman Reigns, Universal Champ. Why? Why do you do that? Makes no sense. It's less matches on the card because as of right now, there are 4 matches on the Hell in the Cell card because you took this one off. So we're going to get either a BS pay-per-view or you're just going to go with the 4, which I highly, highly doubt. And typically, this, I get the whole reason why you bump this to SmackDown because you must have good enough reason to do so, but don't screw over the pay-per-view of the same name just by moving this. There has to be good reason to move this. I haven't read the reports, but my guess is just to drive viewers to SmackDown.
Well, here's my overall prediction. Here's my prediction, and I've been wrong every single friggin' time that I make a prediction, right? But my prediction is this opens the show.
Okay.
Rey
20 minutes.
Demolished. Will be live when this match ends. I guarantee it.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Rey, 45 minutes? Rey will get destroyed by Roman Reigns. At the end of the night, Dominic Mysterio goes up to, I don't know who is the, Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville, right?
Mm-hmm.
Vicky Guerrero, and goes,
AEW?
And goes, Mom, please book me in a match against.
What is that, Mom? I just got that.
And goes, book me in a match against Roman Reigns at Hell in a Cell. It's going to be a Hell in a Cell match. Ray is going to be watching it Father's Day from a hospital, and he's going to watch his son get murdered. Okay?
Again, Lord, how many times does Dominic Mysterio have to get murdered?
You want to know what I think is going to happen? I think he's going to get murdered back to NXT. I'm not gonna lie.
He never even went to NXT. He was at PC
okay,
the whole
you know
time.
what I mean. He's gonna get destroyed. He's gonna get shipped into a box that says "back to OVW."
Nice reference. I hope. I hope this is a match. Like they actually go through with having the match. Is Rey gonna get murdered regardless? Yes. That's the outcome. Because Roman. I mean, geez. Roman, last time we saw him in a Hell in the Cell match, he murdered both his cousins, both of them. like Jimmy and Jay, right? But I'm so weirded out by this. The one good thing I could see coming out of this is them returning to doing gimmicky matches on weekly TV. Yes, Nick, you have a point in regards to you can't do them all the time. But with live crowds coming back, we should not be afraid to have a steel cage match on Raw or whatever, or SmackDown, whatever the hell the first live show is. Let's not be afraid to do that. And yeah, it's the build to freaking Money in the Bank, whatever. But let's get back into that because that's something I do miss from the PG era, whether we're still in it or not. Like I love that. See, like I saw them upload Alex Riley versus John Cena on YouTube. Didn't watch it, but I'm like, yo, that was a steel cage match on Raw, nonetheless. So hopefully we can go back to that. I know they tried doing some fun stuff, but with how stale Raw is right now, SmackDown don't need it. They're fine the way they are. Except add more female talent for the love of God.
That it's like Drew McIntyre will be challenging. And that's another issue with.
I'd be surprised if we don't have one on Raw on Monday. I will be shocked.
Companies running these or housing these shows is that one's going to want the other what the other has, and the other's going to want what the other has. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. We'll see. I would be surprised if we wake up Monday morning and they don't announce a Hell in a Cell match for Raw. I will be surprised, especially with a 3-hour show. Why the hell haven't we been doing stuff like this on some real shit? That's the real question. Right. Where was this idea 6 months ago? And like peak Pandy, when we were all at home and these wrestlers were chilling at the damn where the hell were they? Like the Amway Arena or wherever the hell they were doing stuff from. Why weren't we having gimmick matches? Yeah, I get it. Things were tight, things were weird. But yo, it's just two people. Like, and you were having full ass wrestling shows. Do better. This idea is 6 months. This idea is a year late, as far as I'm concerned. It is what it is. It is what it is. It just none of it. It's awesome though. If they go through with it, that'd be rad. If they go through with it, I don't love it. I just I don't know. It's different. I wish it was on Raw instead. Raw or SmackDown doesn't need this. But if it's a match, if they have like a 20-minute slobber knocker on SmackDown tonight, then great. Cool. I'll more than happy to be more than happy to watch it. But I'm scared of what you said and how it'll start the show. Rey will get murdered. Dominic Mysterio versus Roman Reigns on Sunday. Like, why didn't you just book Dominic versus Reigns in the first place? Right. If like without burying your tag champs. Like I don't like that. A little breaking news during this segment. Filthy Tom Lawler has retired from MMA. Does that mean that maybe he's coming somewhere else? I don't know if he's still in Major MMA, League. Like mixed martial arts? Yes, because he was a mixed martial artist before. Right. Now he's one of the best wrestlers I've ever seen live. He's pretty fun. He's with MLW right now, right? Yeah. So just interesting little things, little tidbits. But that's how about that? SmackDown was doing well. Raw, on the other hand, was not. But it wasn't because of their commentary team. Yet they fired one of them, and we're going to be talking about them right now. Wow. Damn right. I'm so bad. well, actually, hold on. He's fat! Oh, don't do that. So, that wasn't about Samoa Joe. That was about me messing up. I didn't even take it that way. You just put it in your brain. Yo, Samoa Joe's back. He popped up on NXT after we saw at TakeOver. Like, William Regal's like, something needs to change. I'm losing control of NXT. Karrion Kross is right. I'm losing control. He addresses it in the opening segment of NXT. And he's like, you know what? I can't do this. Karrion Kross is like, say it. Yes, say it. And then bang, Joe's music hits. The crowd pops. Live crowd, by the way, NXT. And he's like, William Regal, I'm not going to be the new GM. Like, you're going to stay the GM. I'm just going to be the enforcer. And if provoked, I will get physical. And he did later that evening. He put Adam Cole to sleep. He says that he will not be a competitor. Not yet. It's happening. I mean, come on. So let's talk for a moment, just a moment,
about what provoked this in your house. Couple of standout matches, we had Bronson Reed and MSK retaining both of their belts.
Mhm.
And just Raquel had a great showing. It's just, and then you get to the main event, which people were raving about the main event, and it got a little out of control. So that was what brought, that's what brought Joe back.
The whole build was out of control.
Well, yes. That's what brings Joe back. And you know what? We're really, they teased matches with like every single person who was in that 5-person match.
Cross, Cole,
Pete Dunne.
Which, by
the way,
damn.
Which, by the way, did you think that we could possibly be getting Kushida, Kyle O'Reilly, and Adam Cole for the Cruiserweight Championship?
You said, could we?
Could we? Well, we're getting Adam. Oh, here's the thing: is we're getting Kyle O'Reilly versus Kushida, right, for the Cruiserweight Championship next week. In my opinion, how does Adam Cole not interfere? And could we be seeing either of those men be taking the belt off of Kushida?
I hope not.
Well, it's not even. Well, see, and I love Kushida. Don't get me wrong. I do think that the Cruiserweight Championship right now is what's right for him. But it's like in my head, I'm going, how within a year span you have elevated the Cruiserweight Championship. Santos Escobar elevated the Cruiserweight Championship.
Oh, hell yeah.
But within a year, you elevated the Cruiserweight Championship from bad segments on SmackDown to 205 Live to NXT, where we could be seeing Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole fighting for a belt that we would have thought was a joke back in the day. So, I don't know. I'm happy to see that type of a growth. That said, Joe coming back. Does it mean, everybody had it in their heads that this could be coming? Just in general. That since they brought well, I don't think that they brought Zelina back now, obviously, in hindsight. But, since Zelina was appearing around the Performance Center, hey, maybe this will be a reason to bring Samoa Joe back. Because out of everybody that they released, Braun Strowman was a pretty goddamn big star, don't get me wrong. But the biggest star that they released, a person who I didn't even realize how much I respected him on the mic, was Samoa Joe.
Right.
So, am I thrilled that Samoa Joe is back? Yes. Am I hoping that he wrestles again? More than you'll ever know.
The takeaway from seeing Joe, by the way, the segment, NXT this past week as a whole was really fun. I had a lot. That main event, by the way, the tornado tag with the Grizzled Young Vets and Thatcher and Ciampa was nuts. That match.
Who won that?
Ciampa and Thatcher. They almost murdered my man. But Samoa Joe definitely was the takeaway from this past Tuesday's NXT. And the biggest question, yes, they teased Dunn and Joe. Oh my God. Yes, they teased Cole and Joe. Yes, Cross and Joe. Oh my God. And I know William Regal's like, yo, you can't be a competitor and you can't get physical unless provoked. And of course, immediately he's provoked. Of course he is. But the big takeaway from this that at least I took away is WWE is acknowledging their mistakes as a whole. Yeah. Like they released Joe and the whole wrestling world was like, huh? Even if he's not competing, he's a great asset for a company. Obviously,
he's best on the mic.
Right, he's a killer.
His promo skills. Somebody re-uploaded. It might have been that account, the Flashbacks account that we love.
Shout out, big love.
Was uploading Samoa Joe promos, and that dude just goes off. I love it.
Really damn good. But seeing him back, that opens the door to who's next. Because if we're straight up acknowledging that we're making mistakes releasing these folks, or the big rumor was Triple H got shitty and he snatched Joe up as quickly as he could, and this is the perfect way to reintroduce him into NXT television
because you had to pick him back up, right? Like he was definitely getting offers from everywhere.
Of course. But this also adds validity to those Aleister Black back to WWE rumors, right? That adds validity to this. So, and same thing for everybody that got released, regardless of who you are.
For a few.
Yes, for a few. I know Joe was, yeah, we're not going to see any Lars Sullivan sightings at the Performance Center.
Well,
I'll tell you that shit.
Yes, but like Mickey James was teased for Impact recently.
Yeah, and
with
Mickey
a trash
James,
bag.
they trash bagged her apparently twice. Did you see that? They trash bagged her twice.
Yeah.
Both her releases ended in trash bags. That's rough.
So the
look.
Knockouts Tag Team Champions are inside of like something, and they pull the trash bag out, and it says Mickey on it. So we know who's coming to NXT or who's coming to Impact. But I thought she was going to NWA. She appeared in an NWA.
And Aldis is like the champ there. Still.
Yes, Aldis owns NWA at this point. Like,
right, it's Billy Corgan and Nick Aldis.
Right.
So I'm fascinated by Joe getting back to WWE television, NXT to be exact, the perfect place to put him. And I know everybody lost their damn minds, even the wrestlers. Like Finn Balor was teasing some stuff with Joe because they had some great battles and Joe was still wrestling over there. Nakamura, same thing. Great, Nakamura's on SmackDown battling for the crown in a couple minutes. But I love that Joe's back. I popped like a mofo. I forgot where I was at. I was at the gym. And I was at the little notification. I'm like, I was like, at the gym, and people were probably like, this weird ass. But Joe was Joe's back on weekly TV, but at the same time, now I know the biggest issue with Joe in competing was concussions and injuries. That was the biggest thing. Now, we don't know if Joe's healthy. He did get physical. We saw him get a little bit physical, but that doesn't mean you can work a match.
Right.
So if he competes, Lord Jesus, I would love to see that. Yes, give me more. I would love to see Samoa Joe wrestle some NXT folks. I would love to see him and Timothy Thatcher like just kill each other. You know, that'd be awesome. But we don't know if Joe's cleared. That's the thing. And I know he can be cleared to do certain things. That's why he choked out Adam Cole the way he did. But that doesn't mean you can take a bump off the top rope. That doesn't mean you can take a bump onto the mat outside. So who the hell knows? But Samoa Joe's return, if anything, it raises more questions than answers. Because if he competes, when will that be? Will he compete? That's probably what we're all wondering. Like, all right, y'all, because he's the enforcer. He's not the GM. When is he gonna wrestle?
It's
and
like,
who's he gonna wrestle?
You hear wrestling, but like, come on, we know.
And obviously Joe's probably jonesing to wrestle, but we don't know.
Here's what I'll say about this. Clearly, the money wasn't right originally if they were going to release him, right?
Mm-hmm.
My big thing about this is he's going to wrestle eventually. It's just a matter of when. Because there's absolutely, positively no way, in my opinion, that he didn't come back to the WWE if they didn't tell him he could wrestle eventually. Right? Because, dude had the opportunity. I mean, AEW had guys fall on their heads and had them come back the next week. Like, they don't care.
Right. Yes, unfortunately. Yes, you're right.
That was a joke. But it's like they'd have people come back constantly. So in my opinion, Joe was going to be able to wrestle and probably get paid a lot more somewhere else. Dude's going to come back to wrestle in WWE. I just don't know when. And if not, he's going to be released again.
If I was Samoa Joe and I really wanted to wrestle, WWE, unless they told me to, they told me I could, I wouldn't go back. Because who would? So I just hope my man's okay. And if he is okay and is cleared, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him wrestle by the end of the year. Now, we have to let this enforcer thing play out for a little bit so you can properly sell it. Because if you can wrestle now, why not just have him wrestle now? Mm-hmm. But you got to give the Regal thing pay off and let him go. And then Regal one day is going to be like, kill him. And he's going to freaking murder whoever, probably Karrion Kross. Yeah. But I think Joe has done his best work under WWE in NXT. It's so sad to say out loud. That is so sad because the peak. And this is no disrespect to NXT. Like a lot of folks, especially once they hit the main roster, they shouldn't peak in NXT.
Right.
Folks like Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, who have been in NXT damn near since it started popping up on the network.
Right. They brought him up, and then they were like, no.
And it's like, nope, like y'all gonna stay there, like, because I'm like those guys are gonna be in NXT forever. I'm convinced. If they're gonna be on the main roster, they would have pulled the trigger by now, but they haven't. So I think they're gonna stay there, and they should stay there. But Samoa Joe, he got the call up, and they misused the hell out of him. That man should be a multiple-time world champion in WWE, but he's not, unfortunately. But if you put him back in NXT, all right, and he wrestled, all right, give him the belts again. 3-time, baby, or 2-time, 3-time. I don't know how many
it might
times.
Be 3. I'm not sure.
But he is really damn good at what he does, whether it's on the mic, it's just as a personality. He immediately steals the screen once he's on it.
Yes.
And I am over the moon to see what he does in NXT. But at the same time, like what I started with, this opens the door for folks to come back. Yes. Who I'm not gonna.
I wouldn't even predict it. Is the thing.
I don't even want to have that discussion because they could be anybody. I was convinced Joe was gone. I was convinced.
I thought he was going to appear in the Impact Zone, or he was going to appear on
in Khan's world, Tony's world.
I seriously, it made
so
sense.
So did I. I was convinced. I'm like, this man's going to go back to Impact and he's going to wrestle Moose, and we're all going to mark the hell out.
It's not even that. I was convinced that he was. Well, listen, they teased way too much for it to just have been Sami Callihan. That's going to be the one who faces Kenny Omega at Slammiversary. I'm not going to lie.
And they fired Sami Callihan at freaking their last show. Yeah.
No. He's the Anthem's enforcer, Tommy Dreamer, came out and reinstated.
Oh, I missed that. And they fired Callis.
Yeah, fired Don Callis. So it's like here's my thing. Like, there was only going to be one way for me to be satisfied with Samoa Joe going anywhere else, and it was going to be him taking Kenny down as like as a Impact original. You know what I mean?
Word.
Which, by the way, there's Chris Sabin coming back, but he's going after Moose. So I was just kind of like, okay. I mean, like, again, I don't hate Sami Callihan. I don't love him, but it's just like, could we have gotten a better Slammiversary main event, maybe?
I mean, because you really can't announce any. At least out of the released people, you can't really announce anything.
Right, I know.
Unless you're Andrade, where he left and he's like, "What's a 90-day clause? I don't know what that is." And he just popped. He's just gonna show up in the Dynamite Zone.
His was different though.
He was a different case. Like folks like Braun Strowman, they gotta wait the 90 days, and who else did they release? Aleister Black, they gotta wait the 90 days, and that's not till late August. At least the second batch of releases. So. I do think the Iconics, or the team formerly known as the Iconics,
I think they are going to keep that type of a name. I think Mickie James is going to manage them, is what I think it's going to be.
Ooh!
Because I think she's going to be bringing them back to face against the Knockout Tag Team Champions.
Ooh!
Now, I will ask permission early. Can I take the high spot for this episode? I have a high spot, but it feels more a little bit like just a fourth count. We'll see. We'll see.
Okay. Yeah, it's all yours, dude.
But that said,
me not talking for once, thank God. Jesus.
Well, it'll involve both of us, so never mind.
I'll have now. Of course, I got to say something. You know, I got to respond.
It's a question for you, though. It's going to be the thing. So,
word.
But that said,
yes,
Chris and I, we love watching wrestling.
Yes, we do.
But which wrestling matches do we like watching the most?
Oh. This is something that I thought of a couple nights ago, because if you don't know what TikTok is, you've probably been under a rock the last 2 years. And
Chris Anthony Lopez, I did not realize how many wrestling TikToks you made.
I got called out to make more. I made one. I'm like, I can do some more, and they're fun to do. They're awfully fun to do. So follow me on TikTok at C Anthony Lopez. Same thing as my Twitter handle. But yeah, I do a lot of wrestling stuff on there. But we did do rewatchable matches, because I saw a guy, I don't know his name exactly, but I'm gonna find it so I can credit him. He had asked this question, and I was gonna respond to it on that. I'm like, wait, I kind of do a wrestling podcast every Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern, usually 6 p.m. Eastern. But I want to answer it on the show, and I feel like it'd be a fun discussion for us to have. because I don't know what kind of matches we would both pick at the same time. Oh, I want to find this man's name. Oh Jesus, this is one hell of a name. This guy's name is Narcolepsy Boy 94. That's him on Twitter, on TikTok, excuse me. So thanks, brother, Narcolepsy Boy 94. That's the big wrestling guy.
That was the greatest way to avoid a copyright strike. It's just go.
Well, I didn't know what that was. I didn't know what it was. It was on my For You. Oh, something crazy. It's a guy making a big ass thing of tequila.
That might be added to the Wrestle Reel archives. Is Chris Anthony Lopez going? Ah!
I didn't know what it was. Yeah, I got scared. The last thing I needed for it to be is something inappropriate on my For You page, which does pop up from time to time.
It's just like copyright. That's the way that everybody needs to avoid copyright if they need to go on to TikTok on their phone. Is just go,
on Spin from the Reel a couple weeks ago. I think Suge had played something for too long, like a little bit too long. I'm like, I'm like, stop. But we're talking rewatchable matches. I wrote down a few, and when Chris Anthony Lopez says a few, he wrote down more than 5. So
I want you to start off with.
I wrote down a few.
What did you mean by matches you don't like? Because here's the thing: when I thought of this concept, I was thinking these are matches that I enjoy watching. Because again, I'm not going to go out of my way necessarily to watch a bad match. And if it is a bad match, there's something in there that I enjoy about it. You know what I mean?
If I said bad match, I misspoke.
Or a match that you didn't enjoy.
What I meant was, like, these aren't necessarily my favorite matches. If I were to give you a top 5 list of my favorite matches of all time, some of these probably will be in there, but not all of them.
Right.
But when I rewatch matches, I think it's because they're fun. Something about them sticks out to me, and yeah, there's a lot of overlap. But I have a couple of guilty pleasures in here.
Okay.
And I'm looking at one right now that I would consider A, is too damn long, B, there's too much going on in it, but damn it, do I love going back and revisiting it because of how I felt at the time about it, how I still feel about it, even though it doesn't kind of hold up with the title of it. But I will start. Did you want me to start, or did you? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
A match I talk about on the show a lot, and I love it because this is when I was knees deep in NXT before they went on to USA. It was TakeOver Dallas, Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Yes. Nakamura's debut, Sami Zayn's goodbye to NXT. And I vividly remember this match and watching it because, like I said, I was knees deep in NXT at the time. It was probably the most invested I ever was in NXT until we started doing this show. And Sami Zayn was my favorite. He's still one of my favorites to watch on the weekly TV. And this was two baby faces going at one another. It was the babyface of babyfaces in NXT, Sami Zayn, and the new white hot Shinsuke Nakamura coming from Japan.
Yes.
We knew he was coming. It wasn't some type of surprise. But hearing that, hearing his intro for the first time and the crowd losing their damn minds in Dallas.
Oh, I lost mine. I bought the song.
Right. Yo, there's one wrestling theme I bought, and it's AJ Styles. Because I'm such a mark.
Dave Storm's entrances, if I've ever heard.
Oh yeah, apparently. But they tore the house down. It wasn't just the spectacle of Zayn's last match and Nakamura's first in NXT, but it was so well done, and both of them playing babyface. Like, it's hard to have a babyface versus babyface match nowadays because we're so like we're such marks, and we all love the heels, and it's hard to sell a match as babyface be babyface. But damn it, this match to me, it's one of my favorites of all time. It's definitely one of my faves in recent memory. And every time I want to, if I ever question myself and my love for wrestling, I pop on this match. This is one of the few I pop on. And I'm like, this is why I watch. This is it right here. Because I wish I was at that show. Like, I've gone to takeovers and I'm like, I love them. I love them dearly. But this is the one where I wish I saw in person. Like, I really wish I saw this match straight up. So Zayn Nakamura, TakeOver Dallas. That's when I pop on and enjoy from start to finish. The whole show is really good too.
Yeah. Sorry, I was muted for some reason.
No, you're fine.
So I will admit that I run into the idea of wanting to rewatch a lot of NXT matches.
Mm-hmm.
That's where a lot of my list ends up coming on. And it's not really a list; it's more just kind of in my head. I kind of think of a lot of random matches and stuff like that that I enjoy. And one of the matches is Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano. It's a very long match. It's another long match.
Which one?
The street fight in Chicago, I think it was.
Yeah.
It was recently actually streaming on YouTube for one of their things for TakeOver. And I would like to acknowledge one of the reasons why I enjoy this match so much. I will pull up the little screen ski here because I apparently could not download the video on time. It reminds me of one of my favorite vines of all time.
Okay.
Let's see here.
I won't put. Oh, there it is. Oh, where'd it go?
Did it go away?
Nah.
Because of the concrete spot, everything about that match was brutal. The only thing that I guess I really didn't love was just how quickly it ended. For as long as the match was, it just kind of felt like Ciampa was like, "All right, I'm bidding you." But like that match right there was hard hitting. It told a great story, and it was absolutely brilliant to continue to watch over and over again.
That match, and I hate to be that guy, but when I saw it there,
I also love Nakamura's name. Sorry.
No, right. But seeing, I was at the show in Chicago where DIY broke up, and I was distraught.
I can only imagine.
It was like it was like when we all saw Seth Rollins with the chair he hit Roman in the back when the Shield broke up.
Dean Ambrose was like,
yeah, it was like, or it was when we saw the list of KO when they did the Festival of Friendship. It was that type of moment to me. And this one I think was more hard hitting than the other two. And maybe because I was there, whatever the hell. But seeing that street fight was nuts. Yes, it was on the longer side, but damn it. Like I'm down to see, I could have an entry in here. I don't, but I could have one that's straight up like every Johnny Gargano pay-per-view match ever. He's Johnny Takeover for a reason. On some real shit. I don't think he's had a bad match on the Takeover. I don't think he's had a bad match at NXT, let alone a Takeover.
No.
But so I only have 2 NXT matches on here, so I'll do my other one. Another one I probably talk about way too much. I adore this match. Sasha Banks and Bayley take over Brooklyn.
Okay, we can both talk about that. Why did we pick everything the same?
This match fucking rules. This is the first takeover I watched as it happened. Like I was late to the party with NXTs and takeovers, and I did a lot of cramming. And this one, Takeover Brooklyn, because I was an adult, I had a job, I paid for the network, and this is the first show I watched. This show had Tyler Breeze versus Jushin Thunder Liger to start off the show.
Yeah,
like that's a
good ass match right there.
Takeover Brooklyn rules, and the first one. Takeover. I mean, the other ones are good too, but this one's my personal favorite because of everything I just said. But Bayley Banks, this is probably the best NXT match ever. And I know there's some great, like there's the Andrade Gargano match that everybody talks about, but for good reason, as they should. But to me, like the story leading into this was gold, and the Brooklyn crowd just being as loud and as like they were the markiest they ever were, and they were hating Sasha Banks and they were loving Bayley. And this whole match is just incredible. I love it so much.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's brilliant. Everything about it. Both of their matches, honestly. I love both of their matches so freaking much. And the fact of the matter is, these are two of the best. They're the two best women's wrestlers in NXT history. I will say it.
Yes.
I mean, Asuka had the streak. Yes, I get it. And she retired from NXT, I guess, as champion. But it's just, they put 2 6-star matches on. 2 of the best matches in NXT history. And really set that women's revolution off with a bang, in my opinion.
in that moment at the end where it was the two of them and Becky and Charlotte came out, because they're already on the main roster, I believe. Or they were on their way out. They had that 4 horsewomen moment at the end of that match where we broke kayfabe just for a minute before Sasha Banks went back to hating Bayley on Wednesdays. But damn it. Sasha Banks is my favorite. Like she's the best. And I remember that she had Bayley in the Banks statement, and that spot where Bayley's reaching for the ropes and Banks starts kicking or starts like hitting her hand with her foot, and everybody's losing their damn minds as it's happening. Like, it was such a great, and this coming from a guy who didn't love Bayley. I thought Bayley and at the time Becky were the 2 weaker links of the 4, and boy, have the times have changed since then. I love being proven wrong, and boy, was I wrong about the both of them, both Lynch and Bayley, especially over the last couple of years. Bayley last year and Becky the year before. But I love this match. I love Bayley Banks. I love it so much.
It's such an incredible match, and I'm glad we're both had it on our list to talk about, because it is a beautiful, well fought match between 2 of the best women's wrestlers in NXT history. Wrestling history. What am I thinking? Okay, so I'll throw a sillier one out there.
Okay, hit me.
I love that Carlito won the 2 mid-card championships on his first night on both brands. And I could watch Carlito win the US and Intercontinental titles on SmackDown and Raw for his first match on both brands. Debut match, and then when he moved over to Raw, was it? Or SmackDown? Whichever one. He won the Intercontinental title.
Carlito's and
I love Carlito. He's
love Carlito.
Figure. I popped like I literally screamed like Chris did when he almost thought we were about to get lost on Facebook. I love Carlito, but I'll throw a couple of rapid fire ones out there.
Sure, hit me.
I'm a huge fan of people either getting their just due or big returns. John Cena winning the Royal Rumble in 2008, coming back from an injury.
I have that one on my list.
Jumped around the room that I was in when I watched that match live, and I can always go back and think of it as a fond memory. Any match with AJ, and I don't love what they did later on, but with AJ and Nakamura, Charlotte versus Asuka at WrestleMania was one of them. And one of my favorite matches to go back and rewatch was the first time that I ever thought, hey, maybe they had something there with Bray Wyatt, when he won the WWE Championship out of nowhere in the Elimination Chamber.
That was a good one.
Loved the pop alone for when Bray finally got that title was deserving enough of a rewatch for me. And again, a lot of my matches involve Bray Wyatt because I think that he's probably the best thing in wrestling. That's just my opinion. And Daniel Bryan returning, and you have a deafening yes chant throughout the entire arena is also fantastic. Sorry, I just threw up a bunch of matches at you, but
no, you're fine. We do have one in common. That 2008 Rumble is one of mine. That's when I pop on every so often. And it's a nice time capsule of what I loved about the PG/late ruthless aggression era. Because the match starts with the last 2 of the 07 Rumble with Taker and Michaels.
Yes.
Spoiler alert, I'll get to them in a second. But
well, of course, that one's obviously on my list too.
But those 2 guys, and they were the workhorses, they workhorse the hell out of that match, especially with their given history and what happened later that year as well. I loved, or was it next year? No. Yeah. No. You know what I mean? So I love that Rumble a ton. And yeah, Cena coming out at the end was nuts. And the nice cameos of Roddy Piper and Jimmy Snuka were raw as hell. I also put the 2011 Rumble because it had 40 people in it. And and I thought that was so cool. And I always remind myself, and it has some of my favorite calls in wrestling history from Matt Striker. Matt Striker's not the best color commentator in wrestling history. He's nowhere near the top. But I love the when Booker T comes back. What the hell does he say? I have it on my phone.
Shucky ducky quack.
He says, what the hell? It's that you that's what we love about the Royal Rumble because you never know. I love that call so much. I think of it all the time, even without wrestling context, or even when Diesel comes out. I think it's at 31 or 32, and Michael Cole's like, "Big Daddy Cole, Diesel," and everybody knew he was coming out. There were signs for Diesel. It was awesome. That match. I mean, yeah, say what you want about the end with Del Rio and Morella, but that match with 40 folks, the first time they did 40, I was loving it. And another sentimental one, the best Rumble, in my opinion, of the last 20 years, the 2018 Royal Rumble, where Shinsuke Nakamura won.
Nakamura won, yeah. I watched that one live.
That match rules. It's so the final 6 that they had. It was Orton, Cena, Mysterio, and Nakamura, Balor, and Reigns, I believe.
Yeah,
like that was it was almost like a passing of the torch.
The final 4 were Cena, Balor, Nakamura, and Reigns, and then Nakamura eliminates Reigns, and the rest is history.
And it was so damn cool. I loved it. I love it so much. Speaking of John Cena. Him versus CM Punk in Chicago, Money in the Bank 2011. Yo, and this is my homerism speaking. Yes, the match rules. Is there a lot going on in it? Yes. Is there a lot of running? Yes. But damn it, this is as great. This is like peak Punk. Like, yeah, say what you want about the summer of Punk, say what you want about how they used him afterwards. But to me, this is a CM Punk that we remember fondly. This is the one where they didn't quit, they didn't walk out. Granted, he had reason to, but he's not. This ain't that guy. He's the man that carried Raw on his back, the good stuff, at least for a while. And his title run is super slept on. I love this man, and especially that match. I will watch the shit out of Cena and Punk from 2011's Money in the Bank. A great show in its entirety as well. People sleep on 2011 Money in the Bank. I got asked what my favorite Money in the Bank was, the show on Spin for the Real this past Monday, and I said, "Yo, 2011." Like that's the only one in my brain. I could sit through that from start to finish. The Money in the Bank matches were great, but this main event and Punk leaving with the belt, and all of us are like, "Oh, he's not signed to a contract. Like, we don't know what's happening."
Well, we really didn't though. Was the thing.
We didn't. We had no idea. And yeah, Punk's talked about it since, but at the time we had no idea. And did they botch that? Of course they did. Because
they always do.
Perfect. Right.
We can't have nice things.
We can't. But I'm grateful for what we got. It was a great moment.
And a match that I hate, but I love the ending, is Rey Mysterio versus John Cena for the WWE Championship.
Oh, Jesus.
Because I remember I seriously watched Raw in hopes that Miz was going to capture his second WWE Championship. Ray wins, and I go, okay. And then Cena comes back, and I go, oh, fuck this. Sorry, there's my one.
That's the one.
I was so mad that Rey Mysterio lost his WWE Championship because I wasn't necessarily a huge Ray fan at the time, but I respected Ray. He was one of my favorite wrestling figures growing up, and yes, I say that a lot as a kid at heart. I love those wrestlers.
We love our figs, baby.
Excuse me. And but that moment, I remember watching in confusion because I didn't know a lot about Ring of Honor. I didn't know that was CM Punk's music, and I'm sitting there waiting, wondering why this song, which I was very familiar with at the time, because of an old like rock song compilation CD that I had,
right,
was playing over the speaker on on Raw. I'm like, what is this? And then CM Punk comes out in the Best in the World T-shirt to Cult of Personality with his WWE Championship on, and I melt. That dude was my favorite wrestler at the time. He was one of my favorite wrestlers before because of his heel work. Definitely a wrestler you respect more as you grow older, because that's how I felt about The Miz and Edge and stuff like that. But it's just, I'm like, holy crap. I will rewatch CM Punk come back, and the fans just absolutely eat it up over and over and over again. And not do I always have to sit through that Mysterio versus Cena match? No, but in my opinion, if there was a Cena heel turn, it was in that. Because he was fighting a prone Rey for no reason whatsoever, other than the fact that he's like, "Well, I'm John Cena, so I deserve a championship shot." Dirty, dirty, dirty. But yeah,
The speaking of John Cena, there are a couple things. I have a couple more that I'll try to rapid fire through. Shout out to the 2000. I have to fact check this. The 2009 Survivor Series, where we saw two matches that I adore in hindsight because of the builds and the aftermath. Both of them being tag teams in triple threats against certain champions. So the first one that was earlier in the card was Undertaker versus Jericho. So Big Show and Chris Jericho, respectively. And later in the night, the main event was John Cena versus Triple H and Shawn Michaels, and they were DX. And I'm, again, say what you want about DX's second run, or their third run, I should say. Mm-hmm. But damn it, I love them. I love Shawn Michaels. He could wrestle with Jesus, and I would still watch that stuff. Wait, but you know what I mean?
Yes.
I love that. I love both those triple threats, and I rewatch the builds to those and the aftermath because the next night on Raw, I will never forget. Because the main event, it started with Shawn Michaels giving Triple H some sweet chin music, and all of us are like, ah! And God, I love it. Are the matches great? No. Are they some of my favorites of all time? No. But right. Do I love that match? Yes. Yes, I do. It takes me back, dude. That was 12 years ago. I was 11 when I saw it.
And another thing that I'll say is, like, I loved AJ's debut when I watched it later.
The 16 Rumble is good until the finish.
When I watched it later on the WWE YouTube channel, because they cut away from Roman Reigns. What? Big dog, big frog. But
big frog.
But yeah. So listen, we love wrestling. We love wrestling very much. Do you have any other matches?
Oh, here. Let me run through these. Literally any of the matches from John Cena's U.S. Open Challenge, any of them.
Yes.
Whether Xavier Woods, Sami Zayn.
John Cena is one of my favorites.
I like both Cesaro ones, especially the second one. The second one's where the money's at. Mm-hmm. Rock Austin, WrestleMania 17. It's the one of the biggest marquee matchups of all time, and they main evented Mania multiple times for good reason. This one being the best one of the bunch. Yes. That match rules. Even Rock Hogan, which is not on this, but Rock Hogan was also great. I have the end of an era. This is one I was talking about earlier. The end of an era Hell in a Cell match. Triple H and Undertaker with Shawn Michaels as the guest ref. That was WrestleMania 28. Mm-hmm. Is the match great? Hell no. But has one of the best near falls in wrestling history with Shawn Michaels super kicking Undertaker into the pedigree and that 2 count. Oh my God. Heart stops.
Oh, CX versus Brothers of Destruction.
No. If I
want to watch a train wreck. Anyways.
Oh, if I want to watch a train wreck, I'm watching the movie. But the last two, of course, some of my favorite matches of all time. Taker, HBK, WrestleMania 25 and 26. I think 25 is the wrestling match I've seen the most in my life. Mm-hmm. And I love it so much. Down from the entrances, how like angelic Shawn Michaels' entrance was, and how Undertaker came from the floor and Michaels came from the like it was gorgeous. And the whole match, whether it's Sim Snuka not catching the Undertaker or oh Jesus, I love this match. I love it. And 26, which when we did our Undertaker bracket in November, which by the way, Nick, that was November when we did that. That was that long ago. But when we even did that, 25 and 26 were I believe it came down to those two. We had to pick between the two. But 26 is just as good, if not better, depending on who you ask.
Exactly. And
they're both incredibly rewatchable for different reasons, especially with the context of us knowing that HBK does lose the second, or he loses both, but he retires after the second one, and he has not wrestled since. So I love both those matches. Two of my favorite matches of all time. Now how I said to start with Zayn Nakamura, I could pop that match on to remember why I love wrestling. Same thing goes for these two.
Yes, I agree.
They're great.
I agree. And it's not really a match, but like I will rewatch the first segment of the Firefly Funhouse over and over, all of them. Like I absolutely love Firefly Funhouse because it's just so bizarre and weird. Like it's just strange, and like I love strange in wrestling.
Before we do the high spot, if we're doing things that weren't matches, that scared the hell out of me. One backstage interview that I adore for all the wrong reasons is when when the Good Brothers where they just debuted or they just attacked, like I think it was the Usos or something. They were on Raw and AJ Styles introduces them backstage and he's like, my Boaz.
We've been boys for a long time. That needs to be in our archive.
That has to be in our archive, dude.
We've been boys.
Boaz.
Okay,
it's
really?
in my YouTube watch later.
Are we referencing old whole effing show episodes?
I love that damn segment. It was so neat. My Boaz. Like, Jesus, man. I love how he said it. And I love it so much. And maybe that's from the whole effing show. By the way, quick thing, we do not endorse the actions of the whole effing show, nor do we condone them. Because that man deserved every little bit that he got. But he did make me fall in love with that clip. So I'll say that's the credit I'll give him. If any, if at all. Because Lord knows he doesn't deserve it.
We can make wrestling fans love that clip again. Don't worry.
Yo, because
we've been
Yo, but we do have a high spot, and Nick, I mean, by all means, brother, take it away.
Okay, so WWE, they tweet out the picture, and this was about 2 weeks ago. I'll be honest, I'm a little late to the party on this. WWE
been Boaz for a long time.
Sorry, I'm quick. WWE, I'm very behind on that's Cat, but
been Boaz for a long time.
I love it.
I'm always ready for it during the show to
Boaz.
To pull a clip.
You mean my son is Caucasian?
Anyways, so WWE tweets out a picture of SummerSlam, and by the way, for the you can order your SummerSlam tickets now picture, they chose the silliest, goofiest looking picture of Triple H I've ever seen before in my entire life. I've been sending it to Chris saying that it's Tommaso Ciampa's dad,
and it scares the hell out of me.
But no. Bray Wyatt tweets out a picture or a gif of him in Firefly, and he's like, I just cracked my neck. Hold on as I recover.
Been Boaz for a long time.
So, Chris,
that's my favorite thing in our archives. My favorite thing.
I want to pose the question to you.
Oh, jeez.
Who do you want to see Bray Wyatt face at SummerSlam?
We're gonna fantasy book SummerSlam real quick. Okay,
just Bray Wyatt. Just Bray Wyatt.
Oh, just Bray. By the way, SummerSlam on a Saturday.
Weird.
We might be able to do. Well, actually, no. We'll have an open night on what to do a SummerSlam watch along.
Boaz.
With all the Boaz.
We can have all of our Boaz.
On the Boaz.
I spun around.
Been Boaz for a long time.
We're gonna have our boys join us for some Wrestle Reel.
I feel like we do need Cap. That's Cap. That's a lie.
Been Boaz for a long time.
That's not our disposal.
Oh my God. We definitely, if we haven't reached our Boaz quota, we just did. But to answer your question, with Bray Wyatt, who would I like to see him wrestle at SummerSlam? Okay, so let's assess the card, how it's looking at right now. Apparently, Cena's going to wrestle Roman Reigns. Great. Knock that off. So neither one of those guys.
Is it going to be weird goatee John Cena? Is the question.
No, unless he grows a goatee in the next month. because I know he's been doing interviews with to promote F9, the Fast Saga, and he's goatee-less.
F9. Sorry.
Well, he's still shooting Peacemaker as far as I'm concerned. So no goatee on Peacemaker as of right now.
Tragic.
What else?
Goatee Cena is the ultimate Cena.
No, NWO Cena is ultimate as far as I'm concerned. So
Ultimo Cena is the ultimate Cena.
Ultimo Jushin Thunder Cena is ultimate John Cena. So
I'm gonna play it again.
It's gonna be on Raw. I would, if you want to get, who's someone who needs something to do? Because let's be real, McIntyre is not winning the belt again anytime soon. It should be him.
Yeah.
I think it should be. It's not going to be a Firefly Funhouse as much as we would like it to be. But if you're going to have Bray come back, and it's totally how you do it, how you want to book Bray Wyatt. Either him, I don't want it to be Lashley. Plus, I think Lashley might get tied up with Lesnar still.
I don't want you to feed him to Damian Priest as an issue.
I don't want Damian Priest to be fed to the Fiend either.
Right.
Someone that could take an L is Drew McIntyre, because Lord knows he will take one this Sunday. But
I'll give you one.
Hit me.
Firefly Funhouse match.
Versus
Jeff Hardy.
Oh, shucks. Damn. Now, keep in mind, this will be in front of a live crowd. Because they'll be in Vegas at, what's it called? Like Allegiant Stadium.
I think
that'd be fun. That'd be awesome. That'd be really cool.
And, the door has been open to potentially have, a big money Matt appear, potentially, if they do it that way.
Yeah, but that'd be nuts.
But
crazy.
And they could have Sting appear. Okay. But
we're getting crazy.
I'm not even. You know why I'm saying Sting, but I don't think they want to recreate Genesis with the ugly
Victory Road. Victory Road. Victory Road.
Or was it? Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Victory Road. My bad.
Oh no, but, I'm glad you don't remember.
But Bray Wyatt versus Jeff Hardy would just be an incredibly intriguing match, in my opinion. You could bring out, WWE. He's teased. Here's what I'll say. Jeff Hardy has teased that WWE would be okay with bringing Willow out.
Apparently.
Willow versus The Fiend?
Oh,
would be hard. So, Bray Wyatt could be like, I have my alternate personality, The Fiend. You don't want me to bring him out. Run. And then Jeff Hardy would be like, well, I have my boys. Jeff Hardy's like, I have my boys. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. I have my boogeyman as well, and its name is Willow, and blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Bring Willow out.
I like that.
Willow versus The Fiend. Even if you have to change the name, although I think he owns Willow. I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Willow versus The Fiend in whatever kind of a match you need to do. I say steel cage. That would be awesome. Give them something to do. Maybe put the U.S. Championship on the line. Give Bray Wyatt a singles belt he's never held before and make him a Triple Crown champion. Money.
Has he held the IC belt?
What?
No.
But it would be Triple Crown. He's been tag team champion.
Oh, show you right.
With Big Money Matt on Raw.
Big Money Matt.
And he's been WWE champion.
Mm-hmm.
So all he needs is the U.S. Championship to in a world where Triple Crown's kind of just given out like cups of water. It's kind of unbelievable to me that Bray Wyatt hasn't been a Triple Crown champion, though I'll admit he doesn't need it.
Mm-mm.
He doesn't need the title. Another option I'll throw out there would be if we've never gotten the Fiend versus the Demon proper. We've gotten Bray Wyatt versus the Demon, and we almost got Sister Abigail versus the Demon, which was weird. But Balor's kind of going to be, in my opinion, stuck in limbo in NXT because he's not necessarily involved with the world title scene right now. He
It'd be the perfect time to bring him up.
Bronson Reed necessarily isn't the greatest opponent for Finn Balor. So you're bringing, even if it's just bringing him up for a SummerSlam match, have them be like, oh, Finn Balor returns to Raw today, blah, 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 and start building that Fiend versus, because we haven't seen the Fiend and Finn Balor together. I don't believe.
Well, yes, we have.
We have?
The Fiend, that was the Fiend's first victim. Was Finn
Balor.
Shit,
it was another reason to bring it.
Not the demon though. It wasn't the demon.
But yeah, exactly. He could be like, you beat me, but you haven't beaten, or he hasn't seen the demon, and you could even have Demon Balor win for all I care.
He's undefeated on the main roster.
So, I think you have a chance to build big match proper for the Fiend, even if you're gonna feed him to somebody and he's just gonna just destroy them. I don't care. I want Bray Wyatt back on TV. I want Bray Wyatt, Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt back on TV. I just want Bray Wyatt back. I don't know about you.
I love both options you presented more so than what I said. I think that McIntyre he's probably the most realistic of the bunch. I would be shocked if Willow popped up on Raw, or if Balor got called up and the first thing to have him do is feud with Bray Wyatt, or the Fiend versus the Demon.
Because it's not even feuding though. It's just
because when we saw the Demon for the first time and he fed on Finn Balor, that's what sent Finn Balor away for a bit. And then he went and got married. He took time off and he came back. NXT, turn on Johnny Gargano, but that'd be dope to see an actual long-term thing between new and improved Finn Balor and the Fiend Bray Wyatt, or the Demon Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt. Because on, I think it was Ryan Satin's podcast, he said that, there's still things we can do with the Demon. And I thought, oh, okay. And I think that lost my train of thought. Doing the Demon now would make the most sense. And what's going on? Taylor, aka Jess in the chat. Hi. Much love to you, Jess.
We love you.
And Taylor, both of y'all. I heard about the news. Hell yeah. Big news on my boys' end.
Jeff Hardy
is Jess, is that you too?
Jeff Hardy has said, by the way, that he wants Willow versus the Fiend.
Word. And what's it call it? Also, Jeff Hardy did say that when fans come back, we're getting no more words as his intro music again. Thank God.
I don't believe it.
That's what he said. Yo, no more words till the party's at. But yeah, Jess, if that's you in the chat, if that news that I heard about Taylor is also applying to you, hell yeah, good stuff. But Nick, before we wrap with the show, is there anything that we missed? Anything you'd like to chat about?
Listen, let's start the internet. On fire and say Willow versus Jeff Hardy, or Willow versus the Fiend at SummerSlam.
Willow Fiend prayer circle. Is that what we're doing?
Yes, we're gonna start the trend. It's gonna be hashtag Willow Fiend SummerSlam, and we're gonna see if we can get our boys on it.
And a bias. Yo, Cap. That's Cap. That's a lie. We need that one too. There are a bunch of good things we can add to our archive. There's a ton. I'm mad it took us 33 episodes to get Boaz. Because damn, that's my favorite. That is my favorite AJ Styles quote. Because why do you say it like that? He could have just said my boys. He said my Boaz. Like, he never, to my knowledge, I didn't watch everything that AJ Styles did in Japan, but my man came out of here, my Boaz. Like, come on now. But besides us starting the Willow Fiend prayer circle over here on Wrestle Reel for SummerSlam, thank y'all so much for checking out the 33rd episode of Wrestle Reel. I think we've done 33 of these things already.
I can't believe it. I love it.
Excluding our watch-alongs.
Yeah.
So we dedicate a lot of hours to Wrestle Reel.
Insane. I love what we do here. It is such an incredible blessing that we get to go on here.
Right?
Isn't dying.
Yo.
Every week, do some Wrestle Reel with everybody here. So thank you so much. I will bring this up just for Chris Anthony Lopez for his name today.
Yes.
We love you guys here at Wrestle Reel, and thank you so much for watching this week's Wrestle Reel. For the Big Frog, Nick Mola. And Chris, the African Dream, Anthony Lopez. I'll throw the Anthony in there. It is a hashtag Wattboy Summer. And
Been boys for a long time.
thank you so much, everybody, for watching this week's Wrestle Reel. We love you guys. Peace out. I haven't played this yet. And that's the bottom line, because the kids at heart say so.
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold